Today is going to be another crazy hot and humid day. Probably too hot and humid for my little buddy there. I'm out near Vesuvius, Virginia, hunting for some unakite. Hopefully I can get some good stuff before it hits 90 degrees outside. And look, there are so many rocks out here. Plus, I'm not alone. I found a little friend. Look. Ribbit, ribbit. So this rock reminds me a lot of this quartzite that I find pretty regularly in Augusta County, like around Stanton. Tumbled, it's this kind of boring gray color, but it has these really pretty little specks in it that kind of shimmer. Ooh, and then look at this smoky stuff. This red here caught my eye, and at first I thought, maybe it's a fun rock, but I think that might just be grime on it. Check out this little quartz sandwich. I'll probably tumble this one. It looks like there might be some colors hiding just underneath the surface. This green is pretty cool, but it's way too big for me to take home today. Couple of interesting rocks here. This one's pretty big, and I like that it's a pistachio green color. You know, I was told that unakite was everywhere out here, but I don't think that I found any. It's getting hot, and I'm getting sweaty, so let's head home, and I'll cut open some of these rocks for you, and maybe we'll make a cabochon or two. Let's start things off with this rock. It has some really cool green, but also some neat red, almost purple looking jasper, so I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty interesting one. Whoa, look at that. That is awesome. So that's kind of it. It reminds me of like a Dragonsblood jasper. I bet this will make some really cool cabochons. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but I flattened it out. I put some glue on it. Got it on my new dop stick. And then, ta-da! There's a really cool range of green, and then that red really makes the whole thing pop, don't you think? And then the other half, it's a little bit different. There's less of the red, but the greens are definitely more vibrant. Now, here's that rock that looked a little smoky inside. Let's take out our flashlight and see. Yeah, so it's pretty translucent, and it doesn't look like it's full of fractures. So could be interesting inside. Well, I was hoping this wouldn't have any fracture lines inside, but I guess that's okay. I threw it in the tumbler for a week, and at least it's holding up pretty well. I'll see how it polishes, but I'm not expecting too much. All right, maybe this pistachio-colored rock will turn out better. Well, it turns out it's kind of a weird pink and green inside. I'm not really sure about all these fracture lines. I'm going to slice a piece off to make a cabochon, but first, I tumbled half of it for a week. I really thought this would break along those fracture lines, but maybe it'll turn out to be a decent tumble. Now, let's cut. So here's the slab, which turned into this. I was hoping the colors would be a little bit more vibrant, especially the pink, which turned into more of like a flesh color. I do think it's really interesting that the green is always along these little fracture lines. I wonder what would have caused that. I really don't know, but it's interesting at least. And then last but not least, we have this sort of generic river rock, but it's the perfect height for cutting some slices that I can turn into pendants. I actually used my vice grip for some of this one. There's some staining on one side, looks like iron staining maybe, but I think I can work with it. Here's what it looks like now. Nothing too fancy, but I think it's pretty cool. So, which of today's finds was your favorite? That Dragonsblood looking thing? The Smokey stuff? That faded Lily Pulitzer? Or maybe the river rock? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, bye.